Welcome, welcome. It is Tuesday night and we're here and we're excited that you are too. We just look forward to so many ideas, you guys. The whole goal was to just get your mind off that whole virus stuff because we all need a little distraction and just let's have some fun. So that's my goal tonight is to have some fun. And I've had a lot of fun preparing for this. I really have, something that's exciting for me is to just have a little bit of time, just time where I can actually not just do task to task, but really just explore. And I really got a chance to do that. And I really had a lot of fun on this. So the goal is, again, just to help you have a little bit of fun in your sewing room. I saw this quote earlier and I want to put it up here for just a minute. We're going to just go in order, Mr. Benjamin. You'll go number one. Yeah. So, as all this virus and there's terrible things happening, my goodness gracious, but I ran across this quote and I thought I loved it just because why take a minute and think about ourselves and think about our clothes? And it's simply because here it is. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good. I really like that quote. I think that that's really true. We've seen it many, many times. So like I said, we're going to distract you a little bit from everything that's going on and we're going to have a little bit of fun. Okay. So I want to start first with these masks. I promise I won't mention the masks the whole time, except that I've gotten numerous requests to put them onto a 1-inch gridded page just for people who didn't have a printer and who wanted to help. And I thought that was a great idea. So number 2, if we just continue, there you have it. So there's even the French curve positions on there. So you see it's 4 inches at the bottom. I can't see the numbers from here. I think it's 3.5 inches wide. And then the French curve is 23 at the top and then it curves around there to the bottom. And then if you flip the curve, it still stays at 23 and comes around to the side. All right, now that's B. And there's also A. We'll go to the next picture. And you'll see that that is 5 inches at the bottom. So you can literally just draw it out. You have to have a French curve because there was no other way that I could kind of depict how that curve happened. So 5 inches at the bottom, again, the same height. That fold line folds across. I think it's a whole inch because it's a whole inch longer that it folds over the elastic. And then the curve again, 23, and you can just follow it. Okay, easy enough. There's graph paper for you, and those are 1-inch increments. Okay, we've gotten a great response to that, and it's a great thing. Okay, so let's turn to fashion. And so what I wanted to do tonight was I want to hit really strong trends and kind of show you an example of each one, if that's fair. There's so much out there and there's so much beautiful, beautiful things out there that, and some has come from you that I've seen. Some has come from me in the store and I snapped pictures and then put them up for you. So it's just a great way to bring those stores out there to you. The good news is I work well in advance because a lot of the stores are closed and I wouldn't be able to get in the stores. But like I said, the good news is we work way in advance. So let's go to the next picture. Oh, I wanted you to see this skirt. Love this skirt. I think it's just adorable. It's the yoga skirt, except, I didn't want it in black, or I didn't want it in black lace simply because, I don't know, something about black lace on a skirt when I wear it, I feel dressy even if I'm trying to feel casual. But what we did do, and Brett, I'm going to need your help on this, is I brought into some shears. We've got a lot of shears and they are absolutely beautiful. So before we zoom in on this skirt, I want to do those proportions, and that's 1 to 1 to 1. So I'm going to start with, I'll explain that in a minute. I'm going to start with the yoga skirt, and you're going to get the length you want. I've made the yoga skirt many times, so I already knew the length that I wanted was the length the yoga skirt was. And so I just divided by 3. And those are the 3 levels you're going to get. In this picture, you can see that the top level is a little longer. That's simply because that lace is completely see-through. I wouldn't do that. I just would leave it the third, and third is what I did. And you can see it on this example is what I did. So let's bring in here. Again, I'm using pattern number 2010. The fabric is, I don't have the fabric on that one. Yep, we'll look for it later. But anyway, let's talk about the skirt. Oh, I do too. I'm sorry. It's 3166. The sheer is 3166. Can we come weigh in on this? Can you get weigh in? I know it goes, when we go too fast, it goes It goes out of focus. And the black, you can use any black knit. I use 3054. It's a second skin. It's that black second skin. Move it out. Here. I had more fun making this skirt, and I just know I'm going to have more fun even wearing it. Is that better? All right, so again, figure the length you want it, divide by 3, and then you're going to just, like, this is the top part right there. And then you're going to have a middle part. I'm going to show you how to make the ruffles here in a minute. And then you're going to make another pattern piece for the longer one. And these are all the exact same as the yoga skirt. I didn't change anything. In fact, and then I still use the yoga band too. In fact, what I did is I actually made the front and the back identical. The front, I just used the larger of the two pieces, whichever that is. I think it was the front. And I just used the identical front and back the same. With a skirt, you can do that, especially an A-line skirt. Not all skirts, obviously, but with an A-line skirt, you can get away with that. Okay, so if you put all the pieces together, you will get an entire yoga skirt. Okay? So, I'll tell you what I did. I first made the top piece. You can see that that's just longer underneath there. I put them together and I just sewed the band on. I finished the sheer with a rolled edge. Oh, I just love this. I mean, I just think this is so pretty. And, you know, you notice what I did is I complemented with that peach. It's right next to it on the same, I didn't get the fabric number, but anyway, it's right there on the same page. And then a good old jean jacket. And if you notice, this was the outfit that was last week. Not the peach, but I love the peach with this. I had a black cowl. I like the peach even more, and you can see that it goes with this. And then you take it away, and it completely changes up the look. So that jean jacket, that cowl, it's just such a great trend, regardless of the different colors. It's so quick to make, and I think you'll really enjoy it. All right, so let's talk about making that ruffle. When you have the top piece, so basically this is the top 2/3 of the yoga skirt. This one's going to be in the black, and then this is where you cut, and I know you guys have seen it many times. You're going to start with this edge, how long it is. You're going to make it 1 to 1.5. You could make it a little bit fuller if you wanted, just because, but you're going to go and I made 5 slashes, slash, 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 and you're going to open this up to 1.5 or 2, whatever you want it to do. Easy, easy, just easy. Then you're going to make the longer one. The whole reason I did this for you guys is I've seen a lot of sheer skirts. There's a lot of beautiful sheer, and it's layered over. I saw one that was 5 layers. So you could take the total length of the skirt and divide it by 5. There's just so many ideas out there just with the layers and the skirts. For me, I don't know, I just didn't want that much skirt. I really like the 2 layers, and I really felt like that was good. So you're just going to cut it in thirds. 1, 2, 3. This is 2 of the parts and then 3. Slash and open, and it's just perfect. It'll look great. Really easy and fun. And especially if you're just playing and you've got, you know, in that yoga skirt pattern, we've got it for young girls. We've got all the sizes in there, 4 to 18, and then 1 to 4, and then 5 to 8W. And I was thinking as I was making this, it'd be so much fun to, if you've got a daughter or a granddaughter, and you know the kids are home from school, it'd just be a wonderful project to let her pick out her sheer and whatever fabric she wants to put together. This is still an elastic waist, so I can still just slip it on, and it's just easy as can be. All right, $550 is the cowl, and $900 is the jean jacket. All right, good deal. All right, I should probably take just a minute and answer questions if we have any questions. I know these guys are doing 8 different things behind the scenes back there, so thank you. What pattern number is the pink shirt you showed? Pink skirt or pink shirt? This is 2010. I guess that's pink. Is there anything else pink back there? Yeah, this is 2010. This is the yoga skirt. I've just adapted it and added the sheer layers on, and it's really beautiful. I put it on, and The walking of it is just, it's just really fun. And whenever you have those skirts on, rather than wearing a top out, you can wear a top out, but that jean jacket way to top off that 2010 yoga skirt is perfect. It's just really, really great. Even if you wear leggings underneath, that jean jacket is just a great complement to all of that. Okay, so we're going to put that away. Any questions on that? We're good? All right. So let's go on to the next photo we've got. All right, I wanted you to see that there's a lot of, and don't think for a minute I like this, but I wanted you to see that there's a lot of mesh out there. Mesh combined with knits, even the pants, which kind of silly looking to me, but you know, hey, whatever. So we did have just, I wanted to show you kind of a sampling of a mesh. Very easy to do. The mesh is generally not knit. Some of it is, but most of it is non. And so what I did is, this is 109. The mesh is, let me get fabric number for you real quick here. The mesh is 3173. It's a very deep navy. It took me like 20 minutes to figure out if it was navy or black. It's very deep navy, but it's really pretty. In fact, I think it's a cross, and it's not wholly. This actually has fabric in there, and I think that is actually a silk, but the yarns themselves are like a poly. It's really, really pretty. And one is blue and one is black. But hoodies are so popular right now that you can just about put a hoodie on anything and it works really well. So I did the hoodie out of the mesh. I did the back out of the knit, the black rayon. That black rayon knit is 3174. I did the pocket out of the knit, the band, and you know, everything that was stretchy, but yet I came in and did the hoodie, the hood, and then the front. And because that mesh does not have stretch, watch your sizing when you're doing this. You'll want to go up a size. You know, I wouldn't go too big, but you want to go up a size just to give it a little looser feel. It doesn't need to be tight. There's no reason for it to be tight. The French dart gives it great shaping. It really is not visual, and it's just cute. It's just really cute. In fact, had I had a little more time, you know, time's always the issue, I would have done a pair of black leggings to match and then done a mesh insert somewhere on the side, at the bottom. You know, there's so many cute little mesh inserts of places where you can just, there's no fitting involved. It's just cutting it apart, seam allowance added, and put back together. And it's just easy, and it's just really fun. Okay. Is this the same yoga part that, is this the same yoga skirt that comes in the kids sizes? It is. It's pattern number 2010 is the pattern number. How much do the layers overlap on the skirt? I did 1 inch. So there's only one layer really, but I did the 1 layer long, 1 inch longer to overlap the bottom. Yep. Okay. Let's go on what's next. We've got so much. I really kind of overdid it probably, but I was having a lot of fun. I wanted you to see this. This is Ellie Tahari, and this is an example of, again, that mesh being used. You could, this would be beautiful in, you know, maybe a black knit at the top, the navy mesh, and then trim it in a black leather piping would be beautiful just to finish it all up. So really easy to do. I just wanted to, like I said, show you another example of what you can do. Okay? All right, so this was a picture that was sent to me, obviously Chanel. Collars are just a big deal everywhere. There's just so many weird, wonderful, whatever things that are being done to collars. So I wanted to show you how to do this. I just think it's beautiful. I think it's just incredibly elegant. So hopefully you like it. Now with this particular blouse, I'll tell you what I did wrong. I mean, there was no question for me. I had this fabric, and I've loved this fabric now for a little while. And the fabric I did it in, we're going to, let me just bring this forward here a little bit. The fabric I did it in is like a blue and black. It's fabric, it's fabric number 3086. Push that away for a minute. 3086. Can they see this okay? 3086. So I'd had this fabric, you know, in my head. I just love the color. I love the feel. It's like a shirt weight. It's just really light. And I thought it'd be perfect for this. When I actually went to make the collar in a stripe, just FYI, by the time this collar flipped around and came back into the seam, which is what it does, the stripe was just conflicting with the collar. So I took it off and I cut it in a black. I think I like the black one even better. I think I like the whole contrasting idea even better because you can really see the effects of that collar. Okay? So let's talk about how to do it. They can see it okay? Can you get closer on it? We're going to go close in for you so you can really see it close here. Because I want you to understand it. I guess you can understand it from seeing the picture, but I also want you to see those buttons because you guys I've talked with Benno's buttons plenty, and they are just a great supporter of ours, PBS and everything. They actually have a dye room, and so what I did is I took the fabric over there, this has been a while ago, and I had the buttons dyed to match. So everything just looks so custom to me that it's just a beautiful, beautiful blouse. So what I did on this collar is, let's first look at the pattern work and then how to sew it. I did grid it out on a 1-inch squares because otherwise the angles are a little bit hard to do. It's not difficult to do. Please know that you can play with it for a little bit and you'll get it. It's just not that complex. This picture will get you really close to where you need to be. So what I wanted you to see is I started with pattern 600. This is just the classic blouse is all it is. Now, this is a size 2 that I'm making, but recognize that your collar will grade, but it doesn't matter that your collar grades because it grades at the back. So if you do the same thing, it's all styling, it's not fit, and just do it from the front section there. All right, so the first thing I wanted you to point out is you're going to, where the curve is, I put that 1/2 inch right there, that curve, you're going to bring the collar out a little bit. So from the point of the collar, where the green line is, back to where it comes into the stand of the collar, I'm going to call it, you bring that out a little bit. And it's simply because you want, in the photo, we'll go back to it here in a minute, the collar actually closes up a little tighter than typically what a neck collar does. Now, I'm going to show you this collar open in a little bit also, because even if you don't like the collar or don't like collars closed, you're going to see this is just a beautiful collar. Even with that top button open, it's so stunning. It is just really pretty. Okay, so you're going to follow those numbers. I mean, they're really easy. That French curve, that's a French curve that bows out that line, and that's how it opens up like that. When you go, so that's the actual collar. If you have questions on it, I mean, just kind of look that over. I did it really clearly so you can see it gridded out and how much it is and how wide it is. But let's sew it now. Now, in order to understand what I'm saying, you probably have to have made the classic blouse. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense until you make the classic blouse or until you look at those directions, because this is kind of addendum to that classic blouse. All right, so when typically you sew a collar, you're going to sew along the top edge. See where it says neck edge on there? I left that on there because you're going to sew along the outside edge of the collar. And so that's from the folded center back, and you've got 2 layers, you're sewing them together, and you're going to sew all the way along that orange line, that top orange line. The next one, where it says 4 inches, you're going to leave that open because that's the portion that wraps around and goes into the front band, and there's no reason to finish that. In fact, if you finish it, it gets too many layers, it'll get too thick when you go to join it into the center band. And then you see I put how far it is from the point up to the top, and then of course the curve in. Then you're going to sew that portion, that curved portion, down to the front of the band. So you're only sewing the top of the collar, 2 layers together, and then the front. That 4 inch along the top portion is going to be left open. You're going to still go ahead and turn the collar just like normal. You're going to go ahead and fold up the 3/8 inch seam allowance along the neck edge just like normal. And you're going to actually sew it on just like normal. All right, the only change up comes in And Brett, I'm going to see if I can't get you to get this real close for me. Should I bring this out? Would it be helpful if I brought it out? Okay, let me bring this out a little bit. Everything's on wheels, but gets stuck on the carpet. Okay, can we see that okay? Now, this is Chanel. I did not see this in the store. Again, this was, somebody sent this to me, but I can't even imagine the price. It's got to be $2,000 or $3,000, if not more. It's just a beautiful blouse, and you know, it's so unique and so different. So what I want you to notice is when you are stitching this band, when you're constructing pattern number 600, you stitch 2 lines. So the facing goes onto the blouse and you stitch these 2 lines. When you're doing that and you put the blouse into the facing, you do everything just like normal. You're only going to stitch this line, which will catch the facing, but you're going to leave this line open. That's all it is. Then once you sew the collar in, this will wrap around, you're going to tuck that in, and then you'll do the top stitching down the side. And that's it. It's actually a very simple collar. It just looks unbelievable. Now I put this jewelry on just like Chanel did, but that's not necessary. And in fact, I can take that off and just show you the blouse with the collar open. So you can see, I mean, it really is a beautiful neckline. So we'll take this off. I'll just open this top button just so you can see that. See, even with it open, I love it. It just kind of, I don't know, kind of bows a little bit more. So either way, it's beautiful, whether you decide to wear it closed and closer to your neck and all of that, or if you just don't like things that close to your neck and you want to open it a little more, you can do that also. Okay? Okay. So what I used was 3086 is the blouse fabric, 3120 is the collar. And you want to use something with a little bit of weight, but not too thick, because it won't blend well once you go under that facing. So kind of somewhere in between there. The buttons, the black and blue buttons, are 3171. We put them up under fabric just because they're limited. It's not something we'll keep in stock. It's not like it's a notion. We have limited quantity as to how many we dyed, and they're sold like in a 6-pack. Okay. All right. So a little bit of math and a lot of bit of fun. I did take this and I put obviously the stripe going horizontal on one side, vertical on the other side. I lengthened it about 5 inches because for me, I really wanted to just literally wear it like with black leggings or black jeans or jeggings. You know, I wanted to dress it down. I love the drama of the collar, but you don't want to go too high drama all the way. So you can dress it down and do really good. Okay, any questions? Could you dye them another color? We can dye buttons any color. I don't know about the dye. That's a process that Jerry does at Benno's Buttons does, and I have no idea what kind of dye he uses. I didn't get into any of that. Not that I won't, but it wasn't what I was worried about. I was really worried about, I wanted a button that was really special for this. I didn't want it just black. And so I just love that button. And yeah, you can dye all kinds of buttons, but I'm not sure of the process. Can you give us the numbers? They don't show up on my computer. The numbers for the collar? Yeah, ask that question again. What numbers you're talking about? Just be a little more specific for us. Hi, when the collar is sewn to the front band like this, how do you iron the collar? Well, you're going to iron the collar before you put it on, but then after that, it I don't know, stays. You know, don't use a fabric that's real wrinkly. Use a better quality fabric that, you know, or use some fusible, something that, I didn't use fusible, but something in there that just holds it. But even after I put it up, you can still steam it. If you have a steamer, you know, I don't know that you'd be able to flat iron it, but that steamer is pretty cool. Can you button the neck so we can see? Can you unbutton the neck so we can see underneath? Oh, under the necks too? Well, it's just the classic blouse inside, you guys. It's no different. Just the same exact. It would look just like the classic blouse if you didn't have it opened or closed. Okay? That's just wrapped around and tucked in right there in the front. And I just gave you the numbers so that you could do that. Okay? Okay. All right. Next fun project. Wasn't that fun? That collar is just beautiful. Like I saw that. I don't, and I'm thankful for whoever sent that to me. I do not remember who sent that to me, so I'm sorry. But thank you, you guys. When you have outstanding stuff like that, there's a lot of things I get, and I like them, but they're not outstanding, and I'm always looking for outstanding. So that was outstanding to me. Just beautiful. And like I said, I can't imagine how much that thing cost. That blouse had to cost a fortune. And it doesn't matter what fabric is out of it, it still cost a fortune. The numbers for the collar extension, the only thing that shows is the 1/2 inch. Well, the numbers are not going to help you if you cannot see where they are. Because you got to, the whole reason I put the collar on there from the classic blouse is so that you could see the angles and where it was. So just to give you the numbers, I don't see how that will be helpful at all to just draw out. So I you know, let's pass on that. Let's move on. Okay. So next we're going to go to, what do we got next? Oh, the sleeve. So that's a big thing. I've been doing some sleeves now just to kind of show you different sleeves because so much of the body is regular and the sleeves we're seeing a big change up in sleeves all over the place, all kinds. We've got a different sleeve treatment that I'm doing. You know, Thursday, there's just all kinds of great sleeves out there. And I think if you do, what I like about it is if you do the same garment, whether you do the classic blouse or the 195 or whatever you use as your base, to change up those sleeves. I just love it. I love the different sleeves. So I did that on this one. This is pattern number 195. It's the sweater set. And I love that sleeve. And obviously I copied it off that photo. Now, that photo is a woven. And so in between those, that's just a picture I took in the store. And I'm pretty sure that's St. John. Maybe not, though, because that's not a knit. That was a woven, and St. John doesn't do a lot of woven. So I don't know. Acris, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, each of those sections were hemmed. And so it's beautiful, but it's just much more work. So I wanted you to see the easy version that I took off for the knit. And I love this as well. I did a slit every 3 inches. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slits. Now let me just show you how I did the sleeve, and then I slit the front just to kind of go with it. This is my sleeve. And I did not draw a photo of this, so you're going to have to bear with me on this. You've got this is your sweater set, so this is going to be your knit sleeve. So you're going to divide the bottom by 3. And you're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Equally by 3 at the bottom. And then I divided the cap line, and the cap line goes from the widest part of the sleeve right through there. I divided that by 3. And then I just connected the 2 lines, and I cut them apart. And it actually makes these 2 pieces, they'll be identical. All right? So you've got 3 pieces, and what that does is it just stops your cutting. If you're doing it in a woven, it allows you, because if you're doing it in a woven, you'll have to cut them, separate pieces, you'll have to hem them, and then sew them back together. So it's not just a slash, it's actually a separate piece that's on there. So just kind of FYI. All right, so I did, I did 6. I did 7, sorry. 1, 2, 3, yeah, I did 7. So they were every 3 inches, but you could do whatever you wanted. The whole reason I took the picture is so you could just get an idea as to what they did. And then what I did on the front is I went ahead and did that same section in the front. So I did it 3 inches apart here, 3 inches from center front. So it's 6 there and only 4 down at the bottom. So you want those lines to converge. Brett, can you get a close-up on that? Because I want you to see that what these will do is they'll stop those seams. And I top stitched mine just because I wanted them to, I like them. I just thought they were kind of cool looking. And this fabric is amazing. This fabric is, it's new up. Oh my gosh, $31.72. You know, I talk a lot about clothes being comfortable and how you could crawl into bed. This fabric is like it's like a kitty cat. You just want to rub your face on it. It's really nice. But anyway, these seams right here will stop that horizontal cut. And of course on the sleeve, same thing. You go from the seam to the seam. And then I top stitch that seam again just to give us some more detail. What does the back look like? I left the back plain. I didn't do anything to the back. You could cut the same, 3 inches here, 2 inches here, if you want to. You do want to cut it at an angle so that you look skinnier. You'll look skinnier if you cut at an angle. You don't want to cut square down the middle of you. It won't look like it's even straight. It'll look like it's going out. That's just how it works with straight lines on the body. Okay, so easy enough. A great sleeve treatment. So just kind of, if we go over, one thing, we're seeing a lot of exercise wear worn on the streets. So that's why the mesh comes in. We're seeing all kinds of sleeve treatments, all kinds of collar treatments. Jean jackets are all over the place, and very frilly skirts. So that's why I was trying to bring all this in. Next, what was the circumference of the white woven blouse in the picture? The white woven blouse in the picture. Oh, the circumference? No, I don't know even how to answer that. No, not that one. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so let's show the next one. You guys, if you give me a reason why you're asking the question, I can kind of help, figure out what you're thinking. Whereas sometimes, and I know you're trying to write questions quickly, but just sometimes the question comes out, and because I don't know what you're talking about, I don't know what frame of reference to kind of start from. Okay, on this next one, I wanted you to see this. This was in Neiman's. I love this. So I only took this one picture, but let me just explain to you that what this is it's a button under the collar, and that was a tie blouse. But the tie came off if you just wanted to be, it was classic blouse. It was exactly like classic blouse. The tie came off and could be used as a belt. I just thought that was just too cute. Especially if you're traveling and you want to just, just change it up a little bit. I just thought to go from a tie around the neck to a tie on the waist, I just thought that was kind of cute. So I just didn't do it, but I thought I'd give you this cute little idea. So just a little button under the collar, nobody will see it, and then the little thing will, button fasten on right there. And you won't lose it. So many ties, when they're just loose like that, you lose them. On the top was slits. Did you move the darts to the princess seam? No, the darts are just left exactly where they are. They're the 2 French darts. You can't see them because French darts are on the side, but the width of the seams doesn't get into the darting, completely separate. What was the circumference of the white woven blouse in the picture with the slits? I don't know what that would mean, why that would help you. I mean, it wasn't a question. Oh, you're trying to paraphrase it for her? Yeah, I don't know. I was just taking pictures to remind me I knew how to do the ideas. For me, I just take pictures. And for you, I'm just showing you so that you can get ideas. Okay? Or you can kind of see where my idea process starts from. That was really what I was going for. Okay, next there. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, so this one I wanted to show you because jackets with fringe, unlined jackets with fringe, that is a really strong trend. We had fringe for a while and then it kind of went out. And I remember thinking you should put fringe on because then if you don't want it, you can always cut it off. It's no big deal. Unlined jackets with fringe are really popular. And this is a St. John, but not just a St. John. They're really popular all over the place. So the one I have on, it is, let me find it, 1750. 1750 is already unlined. So it's just really easy. You're looking for a fabric that you like both sides. I did 3048. 3048 is the fabric I did. It's got a little bit of give to it. It's really comfortable. I love it. And then, of course, it's got great selvage on both sides of the fabric. And I use the selvage to trim it all over, to trim it all the way around on the pockets. I use the selvage there, and I love it. So I didn't do anything different really than the pattern. I've got elastic in the back. And it's just easy. Okay. Are those princess seams or sewn in darts on front of blouse with sleeve slits. They're not princess seams. Princess seams would conclude or, you know, make reference that they would include fit. These are not. The fit is all done through the French dart. These are just cut apart, seam allowance added, and put back together. That's it. So they're just style lines. The hem of the sleeve, does it have a cuff or it just hangs straight? It just hangs straight. There was no cuff on that blouse. Okay? Okay, we got through that. Yay! Okay, so unlined jackets. Whenever I make jackets, I always cuss at them. It's not because I don't love them. In fact, it's just the opposite. I love them. They're just going to take longer. So you know what? Jackets are a great thing to do now. We've got a little bit more time. We're all home. So jackets are a really good project. I think my best advice for you is don't try to make a jacket in one sitting. I just think it's too, I don't know. I don't know why. I just feel like I enjoy the jacket better if I make it in a series of steps. The guide sheets are actually outlined like that just for that reason. So kind of step 1 and then put it away, and then step 2 and then put it away, or do something else, make some mask, and then step number 3. For some reason, whatever the reason is, I just enjoy the process better when I don't try to do it all at once. But obviously that's up to you. That's just a tip kind of from me. Okay, then let's look at the next one. All right, we're going to play with this here a little bit. That's this one right here. So we're going to play Make This For Me. This is a game. It's called Make This For Me. So you're going to make it for you. And here's the duplicate of it. So we're going to play a little game called I Want It to Look Exactly Like the Model, even though I'm not. But we can get the same exact proportions. And so we'll go back and forth, but I just basically want to give you my math. So we're going to go to the next one. And I'm going to show you, yeah, it's ugly math. It really is ugly math. So what you're going to do, now the base of what I used was the sweater set. To me, that's what I decided was as close as possible. I wanted darting. So the sweater set 195 is where I started. The neckline's 195. So I started with 195. I put sleeves on mine just because I like sleeves. You know, that was my call. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure the model. And I don't need to go through all the numbers. You guys can see the numbers, but you measure the model. You literally measure the photo, and then you measure you. So if you notice, the first line I drew was right through the hand of the model. So I measured myself from my shoulder, you know, just looked in the mirror, took a yardstick to the hand. I don't even know what those numbers are, but I'm just kind of telling you how I did it. And what you want to do is you want to find a length. What do you call that, Brett? A factor? A factor. Okay. And so it happened to be I am 14.85 times larger than she is. And so from there it's easy. In length. Then you want to find a width factor, and you want to measure the width of her from shoulder to shoulder. Same with you, and you find that. It should be the same. Should be pretty close to the same, but there might be a little bit of difference just if you're broader shouldered or, you know, whatever. And then you just proceed to go boom, 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 boom down the line. The front, it's actually really easy. The front is just overlapping. It's asymmetric. So I cut 1, cut 2, and then for the back, I'll show you how I did that. And basically, you need a length factor so that you can figure out what the differences are in the top. And actually, I don't think mine right here is actually long enough. It really should have gone down a little bit more, but it's pretty close. What does the back of the blue 600 blouse look like? It looks just like it's just a back. That's it. Okay. So with this one, what I did is hemmed the black. You got to kind of completely finish the black. The key to doing something like this, I think, is patience whenever you're doing black and white. The reason I wanted to show you an example of black and white is because that trend is so strong for spring, and it's really cute. But black and white, it's always classic. It continues to be classic. And so this represents my kind of black and white whole theme. So with this, you're going to come over again, you're going to measure that picture to see how far you come over, and that's literally just stitched in place. The rest of it is just sewn like the sweater set. What I did here is I just carved out, I took the French curve and laid it on there and just bowed it a little bit on both sides. With your elastic, the cool thing about this elastic is that you can make as thin as that little elastic cording right there. I literally took the elastic, and you notice on the elastic it's kind of like there's ridges. So I literally took one ridge and I made that little elastic cording, and then we made that cute little button, and that cute little button is $31.69. I went crazy with buttons this time, but I love buttons, and you got to have a black and white button that's just perfect for the black and white top. You can't just have, any old button out there. So the white fabric is $31.65. It took me a yard. The black is $30.82. It took me a yard. Both of mine are textured, and I love the texture. I just absolutely love it. What I did to the back, because I wanted to do sleeves, and I want to do that sleeve white and that sleeve black, I did the back, I just cut it down so that it would stay this side white and that side black. And I just did that right at the middle. I didn't try anything funky on the back. I left all the funkiness to the front. But when I say it takes a little bit of patience, because you don't want to stitch the white thread on the black or the black thread on the white. I've seen so many times in inexpensive clothing where they just use the same color and go all over it. And in high-end clothing, they never do that. They never just keep stitching with the same color thread. It's always switched out right where the transition takes place, and they continue to stitch. So, along here, I think I had to change threads 3 times. So, just kind of be ready for it. Have your bobbins ready, and it doesn't take that long. But I think in the end, it just looks clean and sharp, and it looks just really nice. And that's what you want with black and white. You want a real clean, sharp look. On the jacket I have on, I forgot to tell you, with making this, was really easy. I just cut off the selvage, serged it, pressed it in half, and lapped it over. Lapped it over the sleeves, all the way around. And this fabric is really terrific if you're not really great at sewing, because it just kind of forgives everything. You don't really see all the horrible things that you could see if it were, I don't know, it's kind of a stretch woven, so it kind of is very forgiving. It has texture to it, and that texture becomes very forgiving. Is the black-white asymmetrical top woven or knit? Well, we started with $195. That's a sweater set, so it has to be a knit. Is the black front top stitched over the white front? Yes, this is top stitch. So what I did when I was doing this is I marked center front with pins on the black, and I marked center front with pins on the white. So then I laid the two together with center fronts aligning and pinned this in place, and so once I had hemmed it, I just stitched it in place. And then that bowed out and sewed on a little button, and it's real cute on. It's really cute. And again, just with if you want to go really spring, you could do white jeans, or not. If you want to cover up a little more, you could do the black. You could go, or you do red, You could go wild and do red. All right, so what else do we have? Is that the last one? Yeah, we're good. I think we got through everything, and there is a lot, and I know that some of it you'll have to watch several times, because but it's all there. Like, the neatest thing about being able to do these photos, Benjamin, thank you, sir, is that I can do so much. It's so much easier to draw it out, even grid it on inches, so that you can really see what's happening, what's going on, and how you can transpose it to what you want to do at home. All right, any questions? Oh, I do want to, is the back of the black and white done in black? No. The back of the black and white is done in black and white. How's that for turkey? We did the black. Again, because if it was all black, then this sleeve would have looked weird. If it was all white, that sleeve would have looked weird. So I really decided to do half and half, because this would make you look skinny. Remember, we're always looking for things that make you look skinny. Vertical lines make you look skinny. So that's why I did half and half. So you would look skinny. That's just easy. will you still be able to ship fabric for the next couple weeks with all the stay-at-home stuff? Can your staff still come in and help? They can. Our governor, we're in Texas, and our governor actually said that as long as the businesses practice sanitary conditions, and they had a few guidelines for those, that there would be no problem working and continuing. So we are doing that, and we are working, and we're continuing. And our work people, no one's allowed to go anywhere. They have to go to work and home, because if, they have to go to work and home. That's it. That's only, and they can go to the grocery store. But, we just don't want any problems, and we don't foresee any problems. We feel very grateful at this point, and we're all being very careful, as we hope you all are. This is nothing to joke around with. Did you cut away the white from behind the black on the front? I did not. No. Did you cut it away? No, I just left it there. You can't cut it away. You need it, because it's coming, it's asymmetric, so it's coming over this way. So you'll need it to be under there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get this effect. And that is the big advantage of actually doing it, because when you do it, you'll see that, you can't do it. A lot of times when we are just thinking the process through, we have questions, but once you do it, you answer your questions kind of in many ways. So I would like to talk, how did you finish the peekaboo hole? It's just serged and top stitched, 3/8 of an inch turned under. That's it. It's very simple, you guys. It just took very little time to do this. Is the back seam top stitched? No. But what I would recommend on this back seam is you're going to press the white to the black. The seam, sometimes when you do a center back seam, the question is which way does it go? Obviously under the black, just so that it doesn't have any issues of showing. What kind of sewing machine do you use? I have a Husqvarna Viking Designer Topaz 50, and I love it. I love it. I was thinking though that when you go to do serging like this on this skirt, I did this rolled hem, and it took me, it's so much faster than hemming. It's so much faster, and it's so much more professional looking than hemming to me. So when you go to buy a serger, that's what I would buy a serger for, is how good is the rolled hem, because any serger can serge a 4-thread. You want to know what kind of rolled hem can it do, and how quickly does it convert, because otherwise you won't do it. So to have a serger that really converts quickly, as long as yours does, that's what you want. That's what's important. All right, did you top stitch on the black to hold the white underneath? I did not. I just pressed it. Did you lengthen the pattern for the black and white? I measured that picture, remember? I totally went by that picture. And did it lengthen it? Yes. But remember, I measured the picture and then measured to my hand, and whatever the pattern, I minused out what the pattern was and added those inches in. Okay? How long should we continue to make masks for New York City? As long as you're seeing those numbers go up in New York City, I would continue making masks. When we see that curve start to flatten, I think we could stop. But those numbers are still going up, and that's not a good thing. Let me talk about New York City for a while, just for all of you. Obviously, we're not going to the New York City fabric buying trip, but I don't want to postpone it until, we will postpone it, but I don't want to select a date until I know that date can be valid. I want to change it one time and make sure that one-time change is effective. So let's just hang on for a couple weeks. We'll see what's going on, and then we'll select a date. And I want to get it in the summertime. I don't want to wait till fall if we can, but I obviously don't want to go to New York if it's not safe. I'm probably more paranoid than the rest of you. So, we'll select a very safe time and we'll make sure everything's okay. The other thing I wanted to mention tonight is that this Saturday we're going to have a sew-along. And so we figured, since a lot of us are at home, and even if you're not at home, we are going to do a sew-along. And we thought we would do a sew-along of the jean jacket. We're going to start it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to only plan an hour and a half. It means I might not finish it, but even if I don't finish it, I'll do all the parts so that you can definitely see. This is a really great jacket. We've done all the different looks. We put up Series 700. It was episode 5 of Series 700 on fitting that jean jacket. Jeannie it was great. So now we're going to actually go through and we'll sew it. I'll have all the pieces cut out. And we'll just sew it, and I want to show you. It's just really fun and really easy, and I think it's just a real vital part of your wardrobe. And so for spring you can do some jean jackets in between those masks. You know how that works. All right, please show the back and sides. How do you align the black and white? Okay, so when you're going from, well, those sides obviously match, but when you're going to, it just comes across an angle and goes to this side. Once you pick up this side off the picture and pick up this side off the picture, then you'll have to meet them. And so your line will automatically happen. Don't worry about it. Okay? What kind of thread do you use when you're doing a rolled hem? I always use that thread we have online on our website. I always use those cones of thread. It's a poly thread. Okay? Do you have a Washington State address to send the masks to? No. I've called the governor's office. I was on the phone for over an hour, the governor of Washington. The person who finally did answer gave me an email address that's how they were handling everything. I've emailed that address and I've not heard anything back. So I don't have anything to go to Washington. I had an address earlier to send to California. They verified it. I mean, I had to cross T's and dot I's, and she came back and said she'd made a mistake and that they could not take a homemade mask at that time. So she's still working on it for me. This is a woman who's pretty high up the totem pole. So we feel like we'll get it. It's just, I don't know when. Okay. So New York is still good. That is really where the big, so much going on there that we can do a lot of good in New York. So yeah, keep sewing, ladies. Thank you. I know I made 15 masks, and after this I'm ready to make some more. Okay, what question? So Saturday at 2 o'clock we'll do a little sew along, and we'll make a jean jacket. Does that sound like a deal? All right, so until then, remember, it's happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns. Thanks. Bye.